Well, who would have thought that just like that, out of the blue, you can get into an unpleasant story and turn other people's lives 180 degrees. Anyway, I broke up with my girlfriend. We lived together for a year, but we never got used to each other. Either my life was painful, or we were different. In general, there was a residue on my soul, and I felt a little sad. So, one Friday after work, I popped into the nearest store for a couple of bottles of beer, well, to brighten up my loneliness. And at home, collapsing into an easy chair in front of the TV, he began stupidly flipping through the channels and getting used to his new bachelor life. There was an emptiness in my soul, all sorts of nonsense came into my head. And despite the late hour, I didn't feel like sleeping. So, around 12 o'clock in the morning, I heard sounds that could not be confused with anything behind the neighbor's wall. People clearly loved each other. From time to time, there were women's screams and moans. I do not even know how long it lasted, but at about 3 o'clock I finally fell asleep to the rhythmic creaking of the neighbor's bed. Even then I thought it was Tolian. Well done, of course. Wow, I've been living next to him for 3 years now, and this is the first time I've heard such a concert. I must say that they are quite decent and friendly people, and I even turned to Anatoly for help a couple of times when I was doing repairs in my apartment. He shared his tools and tips without question. Once they even invited us in a neighborly way for a glass of champagne on the occasion of the new year. At that time, their family seemed to me very friendly and strong. And now I'm thinking about it. This is love. People are lucky that passions flare up more and more over the years. The next day I spent in lazy idleness, and in the evening my sleep in front of the TV was again disturbed by loud love games. They give it to me in a hurry, I grinned, it's even kind of unfair. And all just at the moment when I was left alone, without a girlfriend. I thought, not without irony, I'll put a funny note on their door tomorrow, but after all, they're not the only ones who survived. On Sunday morning, I woke up with a bruised head. It was clear without words why I was so broken. After taking a cold shower, I came to my senses a little. Then, after cleaning up the apartment, I decided to go to the grocery store, and it wouldn't hurt to take out the trash. Opening the front door, I suddenly remembered the night screams of the neighbors, tore a piece of paper from my notebook and scribbled on it a couple of, as it seemed to me, harmless phrases. Dear neighbors, we have been listening to your passionate pleasures for 2 nights in a row. We are very happy for you, but think about lonely people, they are jealous. As I was carefully attaching a piece of paper, I suddenly heard a familiar voice behind me. I didn't understand, I just walked out the door, and you're already at my door? Listen, I'm jealous, Anatoly warned, obviously jokingly. But what do I care about you? Even a deaf person wouldn't have heard your nighttime somersaults. I cheerfully picked up the conversation. What do you mean, night tumbles? Talik was taken aback when he read the note I had pasted on. I was on a business trip for a week. Here, I just got back. He sounded confused. Yes, it turned out to be awkward, I thought, putting this puzzle in my head. Talik nervously clutched the paper in his fist, glaring at me. And I, in some awkward confusion, hurried to turn away and ran out of the entrance like a bullet. Thousands of cats scratched at the same time. I was tormented by my rash act and a little sorry, but partly it was all because of me. As a result, they eventually broke up. After a brief showdown, he packed up and moved out of this apartment, but by parting, he still lifted the heavy burden of guilt from me. Yes, it has nothing to do with you. Sooner or later, I would have found out about everything anyway. It would be worse if it went on behind my back for a while. I don't want to live in deception and I can't forgive betrayal. Or maybe it's for the best. Then I thought for a long time about what happened. I was tormented by a twofold feeling. That would be it. On the one hand, the couple broke up because of me, but on the other, Talik is probably right after all. And in this story, I became just a denouncer of my wife's lies and infidelity.